I used to think silence was harmless, just the absence of sound, a blank page the world used whenever it needed to rest. But that winter working maintenance at the lakeside retreat taught me that silence can be alive, aware, and waiting. A presence that leans closer each time you exhale, studying you in ways you don't notice until it's far too late. The retreat sat deep in the woods, so far from the nearest town that the snow-covered road into it felt like a hallway leading into another world entirely. And the moment I stepped out of the truck on that first day, I sensed something off, something subtle but unmistakable, as if the landscape itself had paused mid-breath to examine me. Rows of old cabins circled a lake that never fully froze, no matter how deep winter sank its teeth into the season. And the water rippled constantly with patterns that didn't match any wind or wildlife, as though something beneath the surface shifted and stirred whenever someone walked too close. For the first few days, I brushed off the strange feelings, attributing them to stress, loneliness, or the thick stillness that settled over places untouched by civilization. But small oddities made it harder to stay rational. Tools vanishing and reappearing in places I knew I hadn't left them, doors that creaked open in the night even though I checked the locks twice, and soft, deliberate knocks at cabin doors, where no footsteps ever followed and no indentations appeared in the snow. The generator hummed through the nights with a strange rhythm, almost like a pulse, and the radio picked up faint murmurs past midnight. Whispers layered beneath static that grew clearer whenever the lake's surface shifted in one of those unnatural, slow-moving spirals. More than once, I woke to the feeling that someone was standing by my bed, not touching me, not breathing, just watching. And even though each time I leapt up and flicked on the lantern, the cabin remained empty, I always sensed a warmth by the doorway, as if something had just moved away moments before I opened my eyes. The retreat owner, Harris, visited weekly, always jittery, always dismissive, but his avoidance of any conversation involving the lake spoke louder than anything he said. He'd glance toward it with a tight jaw, as if remembering something he refused to speak aloud. Each morning, the forest greeted me differently, some days completely still with branches frozen like they were holding their breath. Other days swaying in slow, unnatural unison, even though the air around me was motionless. Shadows stretched in directions they shouldn't, lengthening across the snow like fingers reaching for the cabins. And there were moments, especially during dusk, when I could swear I saw someone standing at the edge of the trees, tall and unmoving. But the second I focused my eyes, the figure dissolved, replaced by nothing but dark bark and gently falling frost. My rounds became a test of composure. Lights flickering on in empty cabins, reflections in windows that didn't match my movements, soft whispering breezes that said nothing understandable, yet carried an eerie sense of intention. Cabin 7 was the worst. Its windows glowed warm at random hours, lighting up as though someone inside had just lit a lamp. But whenever I approached, the glow would vanish instantly, the interior cold, undisturbed and coated with dust, leaving only the faint scent of lake water lingering in the doorway. Some nights I heard footsteps circling my cabin, slow and patient, never rushing, never pausing too long, always tracing the same path, one step at a time, until dawn. And then came the night the generator died. The hum stopped all at once, plunging the retreat into a silence so absolute, it felt like the air itself had thickened, pressing against my ears. I stepped outside to check the generator shed, but I froze the moment I saw the lake glowing, a soft, deep green light pulsing beneath the surface, illuminating the surrounding pines in an otherworldly hue. The glow wasn't steady. It ebbed and surged in a slow rhythm, almost like breathing, and the water, usually rippling with strange patterns, was now completely still, as though the entire lake were waiting. A low hum drifted from the shoreline, faint at first, then rising in tones that overlapped and harmonized like voices trying to form words. The shapes beneath the surface grew clearer as the light brightened, long, fluid silhouettes shifting slowly in ways no fish or animal could move, circling one another in deliberate, almost ritualistic patterns that sent a chill through my bones. Something in that glow tugged at me, a subtle pull deep in my chest urging me to step closer, to kneel, to listen more carefully, and for a moment I felt my feet slide forward without command. The warmth of the air wrapping gently around me as if inviting me into the water. I snapped myself out of it and backed away, and the glow flickered sharply in what felt like frustration before fading slowly, as though whatever was beneath the surface had withdrawn deeper into the dark. I retreated to my cabin, but sleep refused to come. Instead, I lay awake, listening to the soft hum echoing across the lake, the faint tapping at my window, the sensation of something lightly brushing the outer wall, as if tracing the cabin's outline with curious patience. The next day, the forest felt wrong. The air was too warm despite the frost, and the birds that occasionally perched near the cabins had vanished entirely, leaving the woods unnervingly empty. When I walked toward the tool shed, I felt eyes on me from every direction. Not human eyes, but something older, quieter, watching without blinking from between the branches. Shadows followed me even when the sun hid behind clouds, stretching longer than my body, bending slightly as if reaching around corners before I turned them. And at one point I caught the faint outline of a tall figure reflected in the lake, a silhouette standing directly behind me. Yet when I spun around, the shoreline was empty. Harris returned that afternoon, but the moment he saw the lake's still surface, he stiffened, muttered something about being too late in the season, and drove off before I could question him. That night I slept with my boots on, planning to leave at dawn, but the lake had other plans. Around midnight, the glow returned, brighter than ever, casting beams of shifting green light through the trees like underwater lanterns searching the forest floor. The humming grew melodic, almost soothing, curling through the air in gentle waves that made my eyelids heavy and my thoughts foggy. And when I looked out the window, I saw ripples forming across the snow outside. Not footprints, but ripples, as though something massive were gliding beneath the surface of the ground itself. Shadows stretched under the moonlight in strange, impossible directions, converging on my cabin like dark tendrils seeking entry. The air warmed again, thick and almost sweet, carrying a faint whispering that felt close, far too close, as if someone were murmuring right beside my ear. I grabbed my bag and slipped out through the back, forcing my eyes away from the lake even though the glow intensified behind me with a soft tremor that rattled the branches. I walked quickly, then faster, then half ran through the forest, hearing the hum rising in pitch as though whatever lurked beneath the surface was calling after me, its voice stretching out in tones that vibrated through the ground beneath my boots. The trees seemed to lean inward, their trunks curving subtly as if turning their attention toward me. And I swear the shadows along the snow shifted with intention, sliding beside my path like escorts moving in perfect silence. I didn't look back, not even when the glow illuminated the forest so brightly that my shadow stretched 20 feet ahead of me, warping and bending in ways my body didn't move. Not even when the humming turned sharp and urgent, echoing across the lake with a resonance that made my teeth ache. Not even when I felt a sudden warm breath against the back of my neck in a forest where no wind moved. I reached the road only when the sky began to lighten with the first hints of dawn, and the moment I stepped onto the asphalt, the warmth vanished, replaced by an ordinary chill that felt so comforting I almost collapsed. I never returned to that retreat, never spoke to Harris, never tried to understand what that lake was or what it wanted. But sometimes, especially in the late hours when the world drifts into that deep, eerie quiet, I feel that same hush rise around me, that same warm pressure in the air, that same faint pull in my chest. And in those moments, I swear I can hear it again. The gentle, patient humming of something ancient beneath the surface. Something that remembers me, something that still searches for me through the silence, waiting for the night I finally listen long enough for it to follow me back.